Hey guys, this is V Prisoner, and welcome to.
I'm not important. I'm just a guy who's there. Hi.
He's just some guy. We're going to be looking at the Mega Man Game Boy series. It's retrospective on the entire franchise, and of course we're going to be starting off with Rockman World 1, Mega Man. That's what it says on the title. We start off with 4 Robot Masters from Mega Man 1, and I think that's about it, actually.
The others were cut out owing to budget and ethno-cultural constraints. There were many peoples around the world were offended by the really racist caricatures that encompass some of the other Elemental Masters.
Not a lot of risk takers in Capcom, especially back then.
It's pretty much. I mean, you know, as a criticism of contemporary religion, I don't feel it necessarily got its job done. But as a parable of the endless straining, the seeking soul of man, I think Mega Martin is one of the finest handheld pieces I have ever played. Not really played, but just watched someone else
you just
play
sort of fiddled
right now.
Fiddled with it in your hands.
Yeah. We're always fiddling too. I mean, that's what man is. We evolved from Homo habilis, right? You know, the one who is able to fiddle.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
Nero fiddled as Rome burned. Well, he didn't really fiddle, but he played the lute. But it's sort of like a fiddling, right? And fiddling is what we do. It is the man, the mega, the man mega, the mega Barney. It's what he does. He fiddles.
Well, now that I think we've gotten rid of most of the actually good people who would still be watching the video, I think we can move on to the commentary now. Iceman's stage is pretty short. That room back there was actually the checkpoint after 2 screens or something. Not really a whole lot to say about it that can't be gleaned just from looking at the screen, but just a word on the ice physics. They're a little weird compared to most Mega Man games. Mainly because momentum is just this arbitrary thing that goes away on its own without any sort of input from you. Takes a little getting used to, but it's not too bad.
So if you just start sliding, does he just slide right off cliffs, or does he just slow down of his own?
I think I just think he slows down of his own accord. And I guess there's no air resistance or anything because even when he jumps, it's largely affected by the momentum in which you are sliding.
See, I know one thing I always look for when I'm playing a platformer is air resistance, atmospheric friction models, as well as the contact surface heat. So when Friendman here runs across the ice, there should be, if it were up to my ideal, that there would be a small trace of the ice melting as the friction from his little booties scrapes on the ice, and it would make it slipperier because the melted ice would become even slipperier. It's difficult to explain unless you're like me. You live on the ice in an igloo, riding a polar bear to work. But it's very interesting to see that the sensitivity with which they handled the ice here.
You know, maybe you shouldn't have given up alcohol for Lent. It would have given you a lot more to say.
It's true. I made a certain decision. I kind of needed it, you know. I was drinking 8 or 9 pints and be like, oh, the bar's closing already. Good lord. And you know, it's good. I feel better, but I feel like there's an empty part where all the wackiness used to be.
It's not necessarily your fault, because the game actually does a pretty good job of explaining itself. And it's pretty simple stuff. For example, at Lakeman stage, it's the same sort of principle as the NES version was. You're climbing a tower, lots of little one-screen rooms for you to navigate, but the big difference here is that the stage does everything it can to make sure that every single room has something for you to do. It's just that, like, every little section has its own little mini obstacle or puzzle or something like that for you to navigate.
So there's no placeholders. There's no empty screens. It's all something to do everywhere.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about this stage.
So, you know, it looks like a fun enough thing. You know, a decent game. I mean, I'm not really familiar with the Game Boy. I was I was a child in a pre-industrial society where we played with sticks and snow to make giant houses. This was the inspiration for Minecraft, actually.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, where you don't have Game Boys, so you just build houses out of snow and ice and sticks. And then the dogs melted. But yeah, it's interesting to see the parallels between the worlds we create in our childhood and the world created for us of the Game Boy itself.
It's sort of like it's sort of like here, because these enemies are from Mega Man 2. And
they're cows, right?
Yeah,
they're little cows in little upside down propeller. Oh, whoa.
Okay, yeah.
So wait, did you fall? Did you fall like through the cloud and go to a new stage, or?
Sorry, guys, just had to clear a tricky part of the stage. No, it was because
it looked really cool for a second.
I mapped the fast forward button to my shoulder button, just thinking that I was never gonna press it, and goes to show what I know.
Are you playing portable games with a console, joypad, joystick, controller?
Possibly.
It's okay, I do too, but you realize you're gonna lose even more viewers that we didn't have over this.
That's okay, because I do happen to have a variety of gamepads for that occasion, and I could just as easily say I was lying and am actually using one of those.
I think the ultimate lie would be to say that you've created some kind of integrated device where you have a Game Boy plugged into your computer that's been USB back modded and whatnot, and that would be the ultimate lie, because no one could really call you out on it.
Well, I mean, you have to lie all the time, otherwise, I mean, what are they going to do? Capcom's just going to take the video down, or whatever.
That's true, and who was it that takes video down? There's some
I don't know, I certainly have no idea what I was doing there. I kind of thought that I could just break that Mets guard by, freezing it or something, but...
So, those guys, I'm pretty sure that there's a popular misconception that they're construction workers.
They were modeled after construction workers.
No, but they're not actually. It's a common misconception owing to the fact that people assume that this wasn't adjusted for a North American audience when it was released here. From the Japanese originals, yes, they were, but in the North American, you can see the sprite's been subtly modified. It's actually a Vietnam War medic. You can see a little cross, white, and red cross on his helmet. And Mega Man is actually the embodiment of Ho Chi Minh, fighting his way against, Dr. Wily or Dr. Wairu, who's really just, the mechanized West seeking to impose its power upon the simple underman in this case.
And Ho Chi Minh was a fan of Pink, was he?
Well, he was a communist hero, and if McCarthyism has taught us anything, is that Pink is communism.
Right. Anyway, Electman is the easiest Robot Master in the game because it is very easy to get him in a loop like this. As long as you come out of the gate shooting, then he'll never fire his Elect Beam, and you can just simply get him in this little loop, and that's it.
It's very hypnotic. It kind of reminds me of those recycling logos with the little arrows that, recycle the three things.
Well, I mean, Electman is very energy efficient. He actually has a 100% recycled battery in there.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to note that his torso is composed of an analog calculator. Cutman. See, he's my favorite one because he's one of the ones who translated really well into the cartoon medium. If anyone remembers, they gave him this really scrappy character with witty lines. I really think that the Mega Man animated series really captured the essence of Cutman the best.
There are about 30 people begging for your blood right
now. And they will have it soon enough. When I figure out how to sell it over the internet and not have the FDA get all up in my grill, they will be able to purchase my blood at very, very attractive prices. Stay tuned, 2014, Ceciltron Blood on Amazon.com.
So anyway, those buzzsaw enemies, they're one of my favorite enemies in the game just because of how versatile they are. They come in three different types.
Do they move ever?
Yeah, these do.
Oh, well, shit.
Yeah,
that
first one.
My question.
Yeah. They're stationary, then there are the ones that move once you get close enough to them, And then the third kind move the same way, but they also chase after you. And they also have lots of health, so you have to really consider whether or not you are better off just shooting them down or trying to avoid them.
See, you really kind of sold me on playing this game now. I kind of feel like playing it now, which is more than most Mega Mans I've ever felt for. I don't really like the series, but, you know, Mega Man's 1, Mega Man's 2, you know, they're interesting games, but I mean, because I grew up with, I had a PlayStation at a certain age. I played Mega Man's 8, and I thought that was good.
I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, well, because I didn't know. I had no way of knowing. And then I got on the internet, and people were kind enough to correct me, and I remember Oyster screamed at me once and kicked me from a call for saying that. Rest in peace, wherever he is. I assume he's somewhere in the Andes, surviving on his fellow passengers of Flight 319.
He doesn't have an internet connection. His soul is just wheeled into the IM screen anytime someone has a contrary opinion about Mega Man.
A prayer, please. A moment of prayer for the lost souls of Let's Play.
Well, I mean, he had to come up with that idea because do you realize how much that man's life sucks? He just has to get out of there sometimes.
Oh, yeah, it's true, it's true. I mean, the limbo, the nether void really does literally suck. It is the vacuum of souls, right? So, you know, you gotta have someone to, well, Dr. Dub. I like that flashing logo in the corner there.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The shutters in this game are nothing like any of the other shutters. I don't know why they did something like, oh, I need to get that mouse out of there.
He looks really mad. I don't know what you did to him, but he's...
This guy
really mad.
Is kind of annoying because it's a little bit hard to judge whether or not you can get underneath his jumps. You really never want to jump over him. You kind of just have to try and let him jump over you.
I mean, you wouldn't really want to try and jump over him unless you wanted to attempt an amateur taintectomy. This image always kind of scared me, like the half Mega Marn, half cyborg thing.
The Mega Marn?
Kind of.
I don't think he has near... Yeah.
Run Marnie. Yeah, Run Marnie, right? He runs? He's Marnie.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't know. But it's, so this is the other stage.
Yeah, the background in Fireman's stage always looked kind of weird to me because, I don't know, the NES version of this stage, it was basically a sewer. He's a waste processing robot, so, you know, sewer. Here, it just looks like the wallpaper that restaurants put up over their public restrooms or something.
It does look like a really bad wallpaper from, I'm guessing, the 60s. The kind of thing you put in your den if you can't afford one of those giant murals of, like, the Alps.
Like, I don't know, maybe that was the joke they were going for, but if that's pretty fucking esoteric, if that's true.
We hate the designer of this game because he has, like, this really awful den, so let's just put this, you know, graphic of his basement in the stage we like the least.
Maybe that's why half the background was missing in the NES version, while he was just trying to remodel and Mega Man got in there before he was able to put the wallpaper up. Oh god.
Jenga Man, you've come at exactly the wrong time. I'm trying to remodel my basement. Now fight these masters while I try and finish on the wainscoting.
And that energy you can get up there if you happen to have Ice Slasher and you need it, but I don't, so let's move on.
Whoa, so you froze that pile of what's it that was shooting out of the wall?
Yeah, it's fire.
You froze the fire?
You can freeze anything.
Science can do so much in our lives now. I am truly blessed to live in this world.
Anyway, there's actually a prototype version. This stage has two prototype versions. The first one is the first one's in this game. Actually, it's you can Game Shark your way into it, but you know, it's nothing really special. Not very big on level design or anything like that. The second one is actually part of a prototype cartridge of Mega Man that's like floating around somewhere. A guy happened to get it on an auction somewhere, and he actually managed to make a ROM out of it.
I thought you were gonna say for a second, a guy, his uncle worked for Nintendo.
I don't know, maybe he is the young. I don't know.
Well, every kid growing up has that, that guy, like that kid in his class. My uncle works for Nintendo, and he got me to go to the factory and play all the new games. And, you being the idiot, dumb child, believe him.
It was a magical time before the internet, and we could be dumb idiot children other ways.
It was. I spent so much time believing lies. It was really quite astonishing.
So, we're up to Fireman. Fireman is probably one of the hardest Robot Masters in the game. He is absolutely relentless. Just pins you to the wall, will not let up for a single second. So, you just have to be on your guard at all times. Needless to say, it's a pretty short fight, especially if you know what you're doing.
That was very fast. I was even gonna say he was like kind of an underpaid civil servant type thing, but you just plowed right through him.
I don't know how I did it, honestly.
Firemark stood no chance.
So this is the password for the final stage of the game, if you are so inclined. For those of you who aren't using headphones, you might want to put them on right now. Just a little something to think about.
Well, I just died of a seizure.
Rest in peace, Toffle.
I hate that guy. Screw you, Toffle. I know you're out there listening.
Mega Man, wait, that really didn't seem appropriate or anything. He just teleports right in the front of the fortress or anything.
Well, you want to get a good idea of the real estate, values of the neighborhood before he invested on the timeshare.
That was Carrie. It makes platforms, and that's about it. Oh, there you go. Anyway, this stage is a first fortress stage. It's actually Mega Man Game Boy games tend to have their fortresses only have one stage. They're usually very long and engaging, but it's just one stage. And, I mean, there's gonna be another one after it, but...
That was always one of the strengths of the series, though, the idea of uninterrupted gameplay. But then, that was console games, cartridge games, right? You didn't have loading times like we're used to now.
Probably because they're only, 256 kilobytes worth of stuff in the cartridge?
They got a lot done, considering.
Yeah. This section, I don't know, if you like to farm health or lives or whatever, then go nuts. There's another one just like it, but I had to speed it up just for expediency.
We can tell at this point you've lost the speedrun championship for this game against the current speedrun champion, lonely person with no life. I forget their internet title. That was their real name. Sorry.
And
you can just okay, that was pro.
That was cool. Yeah, that's actually something they intended you to do. It's one of the main points about Carrie is that you spawn the platform underneath you, and it can save you from spikes and pits and stuff.
That's really cool. I would never have thought of that. As someone who plays games, it's just not something you never expect a game to be nice to you that way. Hey, here's this thing. If you act fast, you could totally avoid dying and having to redo this level.
Yeah, that's the thing I really like about the Game Boy games, this one included. Very, very well designed, and there was no real reason for them to even give a shit about it, but they did, and we're reaping the fruits of that.
It seems to be a game that lacks cruelty, which is something I'm not used to in older stuff.
The other really interesting thing about this game is that the entire Game Boy series is actually the first of the Mega Man games to be farmed out to a third party. So Capcom didn't even develop this itself.
Oh. I guess most of the Game Boy stuff was farmed out to a third party.
All of it was, actually.
I mean, if we think of Mario, it wasn't done by Nintendo, it was done by GlaxoSmithKline, the pharmaceuticals producer. None of the Castlevanias, the early Castlevanias, those were all done by McDonald's. it's really impressive when you consider like what these small teams of fry cooks and chemical scientists were able to do in the video game world.
And if they're capable of things like that,
yeah.
then you can imagine how good it is when you actually give it off to real developers who actually know the game.
Yeah. I mean, these are guys whose primary jobs are, synthesizing molecules, and here we are, just making these wonderful little nuggets of joy from our childhood.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, that extra life right over there is just Capcom's little way of saying, oh, great, you figured out how to spawn platforms in midair. Good job. You're never going to have to do this at any other point in the game, but it's good job.
If you were me, it was Capcom's way of saying, congratulations, you're an idiot. Oh, man. Oh,
yeah.
man.
Something four Robot Masters, so I guess we have to go fight them again. So let's... Oh,
okay, I get it. It's a boss rush. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, except, okay, here's the deal. Around the time this game was made, Mega Man 2 had already come out, so the consensus was there were going to be 8 Robot Masters in every Mega Man, so Mega Man 1 only had 6. So what do? You take out 2 of them, and then you add 4 from the next game. It was a cycle that would continue for the entire series up until Rockman World 5. And it was pretty cool. Like, you got to try out the weapons of other Robot Masters against Robot Masters from different games and stuff.
Dude, you just blew my mind. It explains so much, and I had never thought of that before.
Quickman here doesn't really have much of a weakness. It's Flash Stopper, but, like, why am I going to use that?
Yeah, this is the protest speedrun style, it's...
This is really where Firestorm shines. It's not particularly that great of a weapon outside of boss fights, but its DPS is synced really well to the invincibility frames of Robot Masters, so you get fewer hits, but more of them count.
But, do the weapons deal different amounts of damage, or...?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a Mega Man game, of course. Bubble Man's original weakness was Metal Blade. Of course, Metal Man isn't here, so you had to switch to the Quick Boomerang.
See, I thought that was actually just a large condom he was wearing on his head.
That actually
Which is really a lazy joke, but come on, guys.
Well, I mean, Bubble Man's already a big knob end, so I guess it works.
For our British friends, that is a bell end.
I see. It's the only part in the game that actually has water physics, by the way. It's very jarring.
Yeah, that's really neat. You get to play 4, So it's not like a classic boss rush the way we think of it. It's kind of like
instead of fighting
future bosses.
Yeah, instead of fighting the other Robot Masters, you get to fight 4 new ones.
That's a stapler, right?
Well,
he's an angry stapler. He's the stapler from Office Space. He catches fire.
It's a Zippo lighter with eyes on it.
Oh, of course. How silly of me. The term boss rush is interesting because it actually comes from 1924 screenplay for a wonderful little-known piece called The Demon Rush. You may know about it. I think Doc Future did a fantastic voice trailer for it. It was rebooted recently to great success, but that's where we actually get the term boss rush. It's just any kind of rushing of many things comes from that. Yeah, comes from that piece.
So this is Inker. He is he's a guy.
He is. Yeah. And you just murder him.
He's a boss exclusive to the Game Boy series. Each Game Boy game has a specific Robot Master that's called a Mega Man Killer. They each have weapons that they can give you just like regular Robot Masters.
He looks really cool, but he runs really dumb.
I know. I was honestly really sweating bullets over this fight because one of the trickier things about Inker is you don't really have a lot of room to maneuver around his jumps, and his jumps come out kind of randomly at times, so I don't know, I was just sort of flailing around and hoping I wouldn't get hit. Anyway, we get the Mirror Buster. Well, it's a pretty nifty little weapon, and they give you...
So I guess it just gets you bad luck. every time you fire it, it just busts a mirror and you get bad luck.
Well, I think considering the mirror breaks every time you use it, then yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So this is where Wily reveals he's an alien, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
He flew into that giant goatsy.
We're in outer space.
Outer space is cool because it's quite unlike inner space.
I really like this beginning section because the developers made sure that you had plenty of opportunities to try out your fancy new mirror buster, and I really appreciate that.
So it is kind of cool. For a second there, I thought he was just like, having a lot of thoughts that included himself, which is why it was like a kind of brackets.
I do like the mirror buster a lot, and I really appreciate how it only drains energy if a shot actually hits it. But unfortunately, it's a very situational weapon. It only works if there are enemies firing shots, and I don't know. I just prefer to have my weapons do stuff outside of their respective gimmicks.
So it's the single-use weapons are really not your thing.
Yeah.
So for Christmas, Three Prisoners Christmas lists, no mirror busters. Write that down, people.
I remember someone got me the Dominion Rod from Twilight Princess for Christmas, and I just will not let him live it down.
How could he? I'm gonna pretend I know what that is.
Anyway,
but I'm certain someone out there is like, he doesn't know what that is. How dare he?
This first disappearing platform section is pretty tame. It's very easy to keep the rhythm, and it doesn't really pull any dumb bullshit against you. The second one, however, is a bitch.
Well, wouldn't you just be able to use carry to just...
Unfortunately, no. It doesn't give you enough space to salvage it unless you're, really good. And if you're really good, then I doubt you would have that sort of problem navigating the platforms in the first place. Okay, Bubble Lead. It was a shitty-ass weapon, did nothing in Mega Man 2. Now check this out. 2 hits, and that big eye is dead.
That's the heavy artillery of this game, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
And it moves. That is really cool. Cool.
Basically,
not cruel.
Most people...
Well, maybe sure.
People who played this game might not have noticed that because they just figured the Bubble Lead would have been shit in both games, but they decided to give it a massive increase in power.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, because I think last time I played a Mega Man was years ago for a race, and all I remember was everything I did was not enough, and now I'm just watching you press one button and a bubble does all your work for you.
I really hope you like that dick move that they pull, because they're just going to do it 3 more times until you die. This one can really throw you off unless you are very good at, I don't know, memorization, but rhythm is the key.
It's kind of like, if you ain't got rhythm, you ain't got the
soul.
blues. Or... I forget how it goes. The man who hath no music in his heart is fit only for treasons, stratagems, and spoils. I think, and that's what the rhythm's about, If you ain't got it, you're good for those things.
Anyway, it's an extra life that'll come in handy.
All those lives you've just been using up.
Anyway, the only problem with that other section back there is that the section with the big eyes, that was the checkpoint, and we've got quite a ways to go. So, if you're having problems, then good luck.
Wait, wouldn't you just be able to use a carry there and jump up through the hole, or?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just trying to see if I could do it.
You were trying to show off, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't... all of these showing offingest Let's Players, let's have a humility in video games. Come on. I just want someone just wants to be like, hey, here's a Let's Play I made. Just don't be too mean. I tried really hard. Batman's like, oh, I'm the best player in the world. I'm gonna kick your ass and smoke some grass, yeah. I swear that the state of things now are not as good as they were when I was not actually around to appreciate them, let me tell you.
Let's all take a time warp trip back to 2007 and make Let's Plays of that Berenson quality. Because I like 2007 because funny people say that it was awesome.
Yeah. It was, we've reached the point where it can be like Let's Play hipsterism. I was into that LP before it was cool, and now I don't like it anymore.
I like these blocks that have structural damage. They only respond to atomic fire, and I don't know, maybe, like, the only reason they're there is just so that you'll use atomic fire.
So this Mega Man has the chargeable sub-weapons, then?
Only atomic fire is chargeable, and that's kind of its point.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's before the Mega Buster came around, so the chargeable thing was just kind of its point, that's all.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to see if Time Stopper and Ice Slasher would stack, but apparently they just sort of do their own thing.
Does that mean the chargeable Mega Buster was a thing that was, later?
Yeah, in Mega Man 4.
Oh, wow. See, that just shows what little I know.
It comes back in Rockman World 3, actually. Because that was made around the time Mega Man 4 came out.
Now, Rocky Man is the Japanese name, right?
Yes.
Okay. See, it's one of those things where, unless someone were there to tell me his Japanese name was Brockman, I wouldn't know, and I'd just go on thinking that Brock was just the name of one of my uncles.
Brockman?
No, just Brock. There's no consonant or it's a uvular fricative of no, it's not. It's like lied. Oh, I forget. I forget all my linguistic stuff. You graduate and then 2 weeks later you've forgotten everything.
They give you that extra life. You think it's going to be a boon to you. It's actually not, because this is one of those wonderful bosses that only responds to one type of weapon. Well, the guy after him.
That is a cool ass boss.
Yeah.
That is
And you get to watch me tackle him in exactly the wrong way.
Wow, that looks really cool. I want one of those for my basement.
Okay, so here's the right way to do it. Instead of using hard-hitting weapons and praying that you won't get knocked out of the charge, you just use something a little more stable and consistent. And you just realize that this boss basically shoots out the cutting wheels in 3 different patterns, and pretty easy to follow. Bubble Lead can actually shoot those things down if you're really low on weapon energy, but again, if you're good enough to shoot them down, then I don't think you'll need to worry about having no weapon energy for this boss. So we kick things off with use the Mirror Buster on this guy, and that's
Whoa!
Yeah.
That is one heck of a disembodied snappy head.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The only real challenge for this boss is that the laser cannon and the claw have 2 distinctly separate timings. So they're constantly switching each other apart. You just have to keep your eyes on both of them at once.
It also means you've got to be smart enough to remember you have the mirror item in your inventory.
Well, I mean, if you shoot at him enough times with enough stuff, then I guess you'll figure it out.
And is this it? He's beaten?
Yep, that's the game.
Wow. I'm impressed. That is the end of one man's evil quest to attain the number wang.
And Mega Man takes off on the USS Space Shuttle.
Does Mega Man need to breathe? Would he need a space shuttle? Wow, look at that. There he is.
Yeah.
That is a reusable ship.
Well, NASA was nice enough to lend him one. He kind of had to scrap around for his own later on.
Susie. Oh, this is that thing where they show you the names of the... See, I thought it was just looking at, the name of someone called Susie.
Yeah, this was before the Mega Man Wiki and before any sort of, ASCII type fuckers were able to get their hands on the translation. This is how you do it.
but before people had codified and established what it was appropriate to call something yet. Before we knew the intimate details of Rockman's secret love for LOL and all those other things.
You work with what you got. Like, some Japanese people come in the room and they're like, hey, I need some shit translated. Make it happen in like 2 days. Okay, goodbye.
And you just have to take the guy who is in that AP class that sort of looked the Japanese once, and, hope for the best.
Yep.
Mold.
That's how Honeywood got his job as a translator. Squaresoft just locked him in a room for 2 weeks. Anyway, yeah, that's the game.
I didn't know you could translate like that by osmosis.
Well, I mean, it's very reliant on the brain's ability to memorize large swaths of information.
Kind of like what they do for the code breakers for like World War II. They're like, all right, you're gonna break this code if it kills you. Now here's the Nazi messages, and here's a calculator. Go nuts! And they locked him in the submarine. And that was the hunt for Red October.
Yeah, and then on the Japanese side, you've got people who are like, well, okay, they sound like they're underwater. Is this in English? Hello?
Oh, look at that face. How could you get mad at that face? It's like the happiest Cutman face.
Yeah, Legman really needs someone to help him out with his chin. It's not.
He looks a bit like a luchador.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh my god, that is the friendliest, like, robot master. He's just like, hi, I'm Ike Man.
Fireman, you need to take that cod piece or whatever it is out of your mouth. That's a little unsettling.
It's a chin strap, please. He's a civil servant. He doesn't need to...
Done. I ain't even fucking with you, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
you look so happy.
I can't get mad at you, Heat Man. You're just so happy.
Quick Man, you can't touch his turbo skills.
And that self-assured asshole.
Maybe send Flashman to the same clinic that Electman's going to get his fucked up jaw fixed.
That chin was compensating for something. Anchor.
Enka is a Japanese genre for music, something, I like puns, blah, blah, blah. Can we get on with this? I'm running on into here.
He's walking. He has great and noble purpose and destiny amongst the stars of the future of the past.
So I guess this really isn't a space shuttle so much as it is NASA just took a subway car out from the bottom of the street and just sort of jerry-rigged it into a space shuttle.
Well, it's the space elevator, right? It's the idea that you just take a metro car or subway car, like, into space.
So why did Dr. Wily even have a hangar for a space shuttle anyway?
Curiosity.
The human race will be slaves aboard my floating doom fortress, but rest assured there will be free parking.
I like that. He's like, hey, space dudes, you're gonna go to the ISS? Just stop here first. Just check it out. I got snacks. I made Frito pie.
Well, we'll be seeing you. Goodbye.
Good night.